Gola. Minister, the benefit in kind is quite complicated, but this bill facilitates a temporary change in the benefit in kind regime for petrol and diesel vehicles, which make up the majority of company cars for employees who have experienced higher income tax liabilities since the start of 2023. I welcome the amendments and where you were forced in regard to the BIK, where it comes to cars driving doing 50k. In a car of emissions rating of 120 grams will now pay a BIK of 12%, then 15%, while the value of the vehicle will be reduced to 10,000. Minister, finance means business. Business means that it has to be viable. I have to ask you a question. Is your government car electric? Is any of your deputies here in the House? Deputy Moynihan, is your car electric? Is your car electric? But yet, how many of your cabinet cars are electric? Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Greens. Stephen Matthews was there a while ago. His car is not electric. But you're talking about electric all the time. Why can't you talk and lead the way yourselves? And why not the whole cabinet decide for you to get electrics and ask your rural TDs that are in your cabinets that you all have to drive electric? I'll tell you why the BIK, Minister, for companies is not viable. Go to England at the moment. 4-year-old electric cars in the garage cannot be sold. Why? Because people are looking at the 4-year-old electric car to see that there's only 3 years shelf life left in the battery. They then look at the warranty on the car of electric vehicles, which gives you 100,000 kilometres or 5 years. Now, if you're working in a company and we're looking at BIK, most company vehicles do 50,000 a year. Most company vehicles, I do it, but most company vehicles do it. That means after 2 years of buying an electric vehicle, you have 100,000 K up, your warranty is gone. So then you have to change your electric vehicle. So you've paid exorbitant prices to buy the electric vehicle to try and do good in this country, which we're all want to do. And what you've brought in, that there'll be zero BIK. But 2 years, your warranty is gone. There's also shelf life in the battery, which is costing up to an average car of €8,000 to replace it. Now, the 7 years that they say a battery lasts is worked out on the basis of 25,000 kilometres a year. Now, Minister, if I have a diesel car or a petrol car or a hybrid car, and I drive into a garage and I have 100,000 kilometres up after 2 years, my car is worth something because my engine will do another 400,000 kilometres. But your electric car won't, so my car is worthless. So you're bringing in all these rules for people in this country and say drive electric. But yet, most of the cars in this country, and I was on 95 FM this morning talking about this, the average car age in this country is from 2011 to 2016. How are they supposed to afford an electric vehicle at the current inflation rates? Let's have common sense here. It's not that common in this house, but let's try a small bit of it here. 2011 to 2016 is the average age of a vehicle. Look outside, drive around Dublin, you'll see it yourself. 2011 to 2016 is the average vehicle. Those people cannot afford to buy a new electric vehicle. They then can't afford in 2 years' time to hand out €8,000 for a new battery after they lose their warranty. That's what you're now enforcing. But not one of you here, the majority of your cabinet, don't have electric vehicles. So how can you comment on something that you don't have yourselves? If the government is so proud of doing what they're doing, why not change your government vehicles to electric? With all the driving you do, I'm sure You'll have your driver drive around the country looking for charging points and try and get home. There's no common sense here. I welcome this being shoved off till 2023 for the BIK, but when you're making legislation and bringing bills in front of it, know what you're talking about. I'm in the motor industry all my life because I'm involved in vintage. I know about engines. I know about agriculture because I'm from an agricultural background. I know about tractors. I know about trucks because I own one. But you're making, not one of you are self-employed in the cabinet, so how can you make decisions for self-employed people when you're not a self-employed person yourselves? You think at the turn of a switch, because your department says change it, and it costs 100,000, oh, it's only 100,000 to the company. We'll change another regulation next year and cost another company 100,000, or a farmer, or a person that's at home. You just think you can just change, and everything, the money just grows on trees. It's not realistic what you're doing. That's why the rural independents have always stood up and talked about, let's put in the alternatives, then we'll all change together. You've put in the change without alternatives. You're making business cases to businesses without a proper financial look at it to say that the vehicles that you're now buying are worthless if you're doing 50,000 every 2 years. That's 100k in 2 years. Your car is worthless. So what person in their right mind would buy an electric vehicle if they're doing high mileage? What person in their right mind, you might as well just go home and burn the money. If you have a fossil fuel vehicle in this country at the moment, it's the only thing that's worth something. Even if it's 10 years old, it's worth something. Whereas an electric vehicle, after 4 years, is worthless. So when you bring in something with sense in it, that it will overcome that and make it viable for people to buy electric, yes, we will. They're ideal for small mileage people in towns and villages where they can actually work. And anyone that can buy one, yes, that's doing small mileage. I recommend it. But anyone that's in business can't afford to do it because it's not viable, because you have no warranty, you pay out for a battery and your vehicle is worthless after 2 years with high mileage. So let's have a small bit of common sense here, Minister. Thank you, Councillor Corley.